Welcome to Oval Window Garage. I'm Clinton with Oval Window Racing, and I'm here to tell you guys I think I made a big mistake. I dropped the video last Saturday or the Saturday before, and I'm sure when this is going to air. But after it aired, thankfully I got to thinking and calculating in my head. I think I figured that I did a mistake here with the dialing in the cam. One of the steps anyways. One step is good, the other step I believe isn't. And well, we're gonna put Hubert's power plant back together here and try to do this correctly. I'm gonna bring you guys along with me and see if we can get this done correctly. But first I gotta put this all back together and see what happened. As you can see, I've already got Emily's engine all tore down. You know, this is Hubert's power plant. I've already got this all tore down and cleaned up, painted. Yeah, if you guys were wondering what color she went with, there's a big sign. All right, got the pink beast back together here. And I got cylinder number 1 mounted, and we are going to find top dead center using the degree wheel so we can figure out cam timing. In order to do that, we are going to do the stop method, and I'll show that to you. You guys have probably, sorry about the furnace. You guys have probably seen this here before if you've seen any of my engine builds. This is how I find deck height. But I've got this screw here with a nut on the end. And what that's going to do is stop the piston. We're going to stop the piston in 2 different locations and then do some math. And I'm not really good at math, but we'll see if we can get through this. Alright, so we're going to crank this up slowly. Remind you, we got a hunk of metal in there. We do not want to damage the piston. Come on, keep going. Easy. And it will stop. Right there. And we're going to take note here with the degree wheel. And we're going to use a marker here for top dead center. And since we're going to locate it here on the wheel, this will be accurate. I know when we go timing, to do timing and stuff, we usually use the case half here. And I've kind of set this up close so we'll have a relatively good idea where it will be. But right now we fit 40. So now we're going to crank the piston back the other direction slowly. So it'll go down. And it'll come back up. Man. We'll take note. Now that stopped at 10. So we're going to move this just a little bit. As that was 40, 10, 30 is the difference. Let's move it roughly 15. So there's 5, 10, 15. And this is something you may have to do a few times before you get it. You know, I'm just kind of guessing where we're moving this wheel. But if we did it right, when we rotate it back the other direction, it should hit roughly over here in the same spot. So let's go slowly back the other direction. That says 25 and a half. Let's go back the other direction and see how accurate we are. And I would say that is pretty close to 25 and a half too. Now that we determine that, I'm going to tighten this up a little bit out of the wheel so it doesn't move. Double check it again. But then we'll remove the cylinder here. We'll set up a dial indicator on the intake lifter and see where, where we wind up. Okay, I got everything all set up here. The first step, I showed the stop method on finding the true top dead center for the piston. Okay, now what we're going to concentrate on, and this is kind of where I was getting backwards, is the lobe center. We're going to kind of do the same process with the cam, and we're going to kind of find the top of the cam. And in doing so, we should be able to tell where the timing is at on the cam gear. Because like I said, this cam gear, I have no idea where it's set at. I got washers in it, and I just kind of set them one way, and I'm hoping that they're kind of retarded, and I'm hoping what number we come up with here is the same number that we came up in my previous video that I took down. But we'll see. Well, let's take a look. First, I'm going to show you the cam card. Here is the cam card. Here is the cam card. FK8 by Engel. With the ratio rocker, should be over 500 thousandths lift. And I think when the ratio rocker video I did, we wound up with about 550, between 540 and 550, which means the rockers probably lift just a little bit more. We got duration and valve lash. I was concentrating too much, I think, on this chart here on the intake opening and closing, and the same with the exhaust and where they were located here. It says we should have, I think that's a 383, and then duration is 258. But this is the important number here, the lobe center, 108. This cam is ground with a lobe center of 108 degrees. So that's what we're kind of looking for when we're doing this next step. So yeah, let's go find lift. We're going to find the lift. We're going to see how close we come to the 383. And I will warn you, we have a used cam, so it's probably going to have a little bit of wear on it. I did check this cam with a caliper. I think it was in a previous video, probably how to set up a cam. And maybe I'll try to remember to link that video at the end of this one. So I know that the cam lobes were all relatively pretty equal on lift, but we may not get that full 383. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is we have already found top dead center with a piston. We have to find, I'm going to do basically find where we set the valve lash, top dead to zero compression stroke here. Try to do it without knocking you guys over or the dial indicator over. So I'm just going to watch the needle here go up and down. And when it's all the way, well, it's going down now. It's actually moving slow because we were in Michigan and I put grease on the lifter and it's cold. We're rolling into winter here. We're going, I think it's still going slowly, so the lifter is going down. I want to watch it go up once. There, it's going up. Up, 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 up. Up, and when it stops going up, I'm going to watch it go down. I could probably move this, we're at bottom dead center. We'll move the timing on the top dead center here, and that should be compression stroke. Down, 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 down. Probably shouldn't have greased them. Yes, note to self. Next time, let's use a lightweight oil instead of grease when we're doing this procedure. And save the grease for the final assembly. Okay, needle to stop. So we're going to set that as 0 and 0 it out. A couple more little taps. All right, now we're just going to slowly roll this over. Okay, so we're going to count. There's 1, 2, 3, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, about 64. So now that we got that set, we are going to now zero this indicator out again. This is the tough part. I mean, it's easy, but it's tough. We're going to start by rotating the engine backwards, And where it says on that card, check lobe at 50 thousandths, we're going to rotate this around until the indicator here just goes past 50. So we're going to go slow. We know it's going to drop slow because of grease. Let it catch up here. A little more. A little more. A little more. Like I said, since we're rolling the engine around backwards, I'm going to pass 50 thousandths a little bit. Then we're going to come back to 50. This kind of just takes the lash out of everything. It's really important, I guess, if you're running a timing chain. Now we're going to look and see where we're at. And we are at 67 degrees. It looks like that is before top dead center. So we're going to come over here, and this number here is irrelevant, but we said we came up with 364. But this first number is important. We're going to write down 67 here. Okay, now we're going to go back. So we're going to rotate the engine in the direction, basically clockwise, as it runs. Back to 0, slowly. And now that we're at 0, we're going to continue going the same direction, but we got to go slow this time because we know this is going to drop slow. But we're going to 50. Back to 50. So we are now on the other side of the cam lobe. The grease must be warming up. It's moving, the wheel's moving a little better. Alright, now this is a little harder part. Okay, remember we started at top dead center, and we're way over here. And this cam, or these degree wheels are kind of confusing because 45 is on here 4 times, 90 degrees is on here 2 times, and 0 is on here 2 times. So we know from this distance to this distance is 90. Now we're at 90, and 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 52. So 152 degrees. Come over here and write this number down. 152. This is where math comes in. So we're going to take the 67, add it to the 152, and that gives us 219. We're going to write that down. This equals 219. Since the cam turns around half the time the crank does, we're going to divide it by 2. 2. Bam, that gives us 109 and a half. I'll remind you, our number we were looking for was 108. If we would have had the straight up washers and ran that cam straight up, it more than likely would have hit that 108. So what this is telling me is, since we're roughly 1.5, you can round it up to 110. We were actually like 2 degrees off of what the cam card says. So that's telling me that we are one way or the other 2 degrees. Well, what I've came up with is, the higher the number, say the cam started at 108, you would zero that out. So anything bigger than 108 would be, the cam would be retarded. Anything below the 108, the cam would be actually advanced. And the theory is, the more retarded the cam is, the more the power is moved up in the RPM range, giving you more power with the higher RPMs. And when you go the other way, advancing it, it's the opposite. You actually get more power on the lower end, up to a certain point. These cam gears usually come with 3 sets of washers, straight up, must be a 2 degrees and a 4 degrees, somewhere in there someplace. So that's actually good to know, knowing that we are knowing where the timing of the cam is, so we can kind of figure out that's where we're going to leave it. And since that's the only washers I have, that's where I'm going to leave it. What I probably should do, just for fun, and I think I am going to do it, even though I Loctited those bolts in, I think I'm actually remove them and see if I can swap the washers the other way and see if we can actually make that number go on the other side of 108. So that means I have to do a full teardown again. Okay, we're back. I moved the washers the other direction, so we should actually see the cam as advanced. So I just got to drop the dial indicator back in there. I've already found top dead center, and we are going to find compression stroke here. Top dead center. So what we're doing is just going to roll it around like we did before. Dial indicator go up, and when it goes back down, we should be where we need to be. Alright, now we'll zero it out. And we're going to move it back up to the highest point of the lobe. Count our lift again. 3, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 5-ish. So now we zero it back out without moving anything. We're going to find 50 thousandths off one side of the lobe, which we are going to go backwards again. So that's, she's on 0. Good. There we go. Should start falling right away. Remember, this is the one we want to go just past 50 thousandths and bring it back. Quite ways. 50 thousandths. Take note. Here. We have moved it. We are now, we're right on 60 this time. Over here. Down around 60. Last time we were at 67. Now we're going to bring her back up to 0. Right there. We'll continue going. We're now rotating the engine in the way that the engine would run, which is clockwise. We're going to go slow this time. Keep up with us. Stop at 50 thousandths again. Right on it. Over here, all we got to do a little adding. Going from here to here is 90, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 52 again, is that right? 90, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40. I haven't just counted that one. I'll add about 142 this time. 142. Adding machine. Now we are at 60 plus 142. Now we're at 202. Again, divide it by 2. It's just 101. That's quite a bit of difference from the other one. So over to the cam card. 108. 108 minus 101. 7 degrees. And since Yeah, that's crazy. I ran them through again and came up with like a half of a degree different, 101.5 versus just 101. So that's advanced 7 degrees. I'm going to retake it apart, reassemble the cam where I want it to be at, and we'll measure it again. That's possible maybe the washers were a little off. I kind of find that hard to believe, but yeah, you never know. We'll do that. I kind of wanted the engine with the cam to be retarded rather than advanced, just so we can have that little extra oomph up higher in the RPM range. Being a street car, it might not be bad to go the other direction, but I don't know, 7 degrees is quite a bit. So yeah, let me do it all over again and see what we come up with. All right, we're back together. I moved the cam back to hopefully the original position. We'll find out. I've got this at top dead center compression stroke, and we are going to find the total lift again, and then 50 thousandths on both sides of the cam, and do the math. So let's get to it. We're gonna watch the dial indicator climb. Okay, got 1, 2, 3, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 73. 73. So all we need to do now is zero this out. We're going to go backwards 50 thousandths. Let the needle catch up. Needle catch up. Pass a little bit and come back on 50. Take note of where we're at. So we're back to normal. It would be 67. Look at that, we're 68. We'll jot that down. Start a new number. 68. All right, back to 0. Now we're going to continue rolling it the same way, which was clockwise, until it goes back to 50. We're going to go a little slower this time, so we don't get ahead of the needle. Okay, so remember we're 90, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 51. If I remember correctly, we were 152 before. So 151. Okay, got the number machine back up. So 68 plus 151 equals 219. 219, and we're going to divide that by 2. Gives us again 109 and a half. Yeah, that's kind of weird. I would have figured that would have been, 7 degrees one way, 7 degrees the other way, but it's not working out that way. We are gonna call it good. I'm gonna get this back apart, Loctite those bolts and torque them back down. And I just recalled, after taking this flywheel on and off a few times, I don't think I've set end play on this yet. I went and checked my notes and I don't see any numbers on there for end play, but I want to do that before I actually seal this thing all up, in case I need to go in and massage the rear bearing, the rear main bearing a little bit if I need to get a little extra clearance. Hopefully I don't. Hopefully everything will go good and I get the good 4 to 5 thousandths end play. But yeah, I'm going to call that good. That was a brief description on how to kind of dial in and check your cam. I hope it was educational. I tell you the truth, I actually learned some stuff here after doing it wrong the first time. But that's what it's about. It's about learning. And it wouldn't be any fun if we didn't. Until next time, keep cruising, keep shifting those gears, and always enjoy the ride. Let's go. Ah. Have a nice trip.